Okay, in this lesson, we're going to go ahead and design the next section. So if we refer back to our wireframe, we'll see that the next section is the analytics section right here, along with a chart illustration. So let's get started with that. And the first thing we'll do is Control-Shift-4 just so we could see our guides here. I think I refreshed by accident. Sorry about that. And what we'll do is we're going to put right here that information pertaining to that analytics section. So we have a headline and then a description. I think we're also going to have like a little sub headline or like a sub tag or something like that as well, which isn't here pictured right here. So what we'll do is let's get our type out and let's put in every stat you need to remain successful. Now, clearly, this is way too small. I think we're going to use a size. We don't want to compete too much with this size for this section heading. I think we're going to go ahead and use 48 for that font, and then AEI. Let me make sure we're using AILERON for that font. And also bold. So clearly you can see between these two, the headline and subheadline, this is large type right here, but it's not as large as the headline right here. Okay, so temporarily Control-Shift-4 to toggle that off. This right here would be worth as adding to our actual design system. So what we'll do is we're going to add that right here. So this is going to be type right here, and then we will just call this like an H2 or heading 2. Oh, I didn't do that correctly. We have to add it first. Type H2. All right, so now we've added that. Let's go to typography. So we have a headline, and so what we could really do is just put H1 headline style, and then underneath this, let's get this evened up here better. There we go. We'll have a H2, and then change this. There we go. Excellent. Now we also are going to have a subheadline. So let's duplicate this. We will have to detach that. And for this, we're going to put superior analytics, and then we'll use auto width, and we want visual hierarchy because this right here is difficult. We have two semantically different ideas. One's kind of like a subheadline and the other one is a headline. So we're going to scale this one down to a fair point around 30, and then to also change or increase that visual hierarchy, we'll also use a color over here. Now, do we currently have one that will work? I think we do. The text hover right here. I really like that color. I think that will work well. All right, great. So we do have a new text style as well, and we can just call this one type. Now, notice we have subheadline. We can simply say subheadline 2. All right, so we can go to typography. So we could say this is a, really this is the, we'll say this primary subheadline title, which is indicative of using it at the top of a page. And then this could be just like a section subheadline style. And of course, you can add documentation to this to show use cases as well, which is a typical thing as a part of a design system. And so now let's go ahead and break that, and we'll use subheadline 2. And then we'll also use the associated color as well because we do have it colored. Okay, so next up, let's go to our wireframe. And now we can have our type. We're going to reuse this same paragraph type right here. So we can simply duplicate that, and we'll left align this. And I do have some specific type that I want to use already. and it did change the color. So we're going to break this real quickly, and we'll get back our paragraph style, and also the this right here. Now we have, this is exactly the same as this type up here. Now let's get out our guide here, make sure this is evened up. There we go. And that's looking pretty solid right there. So Control-Shift-4. And remember, if you ever want to make a change to how these are styled, like for instance, if you think this needs maybe a little bit more line height, we can go ahead and we can adjust it here, and we can adjust the line height right here in this section. So maybe we'll just make this 154, and notice they all update. Excellent. Okay, so that's all we need for this left section. Maybe we'll push this down just a little bit more. And now in this section, we want to have a chart graphic. And there's a plugin called Chart. So right here, if you go to the community section under plugins, you can have this this plugin installed. You can refresh and then access Create Chart right here. So this is just a handy way to give you a chart design so you don't have to create it by yourself from scratch. You can also customize the colors afterwards, which we will do. So we're going to do a line chart. Number of lines we're going to change to 2. A number of points we'll leave 5. And then we'll just hit Create Chart. Now, of course, there are a lot of other chart types here, most of which you probably need to upgrade. But for now, we can use just this free version. Let's hit Create Chart and see what it looks like. So this clearly doesn't really match our design that well, but we can hold Shift and scale this up. And so now what we want to do is we're going to make this, we're going to adjust these colors so that they fit well. Now, if we select the whole thing, it's a group, but we can also change all the colors from here, which is very handy. So for instance, if we want to change this blue color, for instance, we can just click right here. Maybe we'll make it that color, kind of like that. And then also this sort of blue color is the top one, this one right here. So we can make that our primary color. All right, I like that. And then we have 2 other colors right here, these grays, which is probably the grid. The one that's standing out a lot, we can just grab this background color and then just pull it up slightly. That's already looking a lot better. And then the other colors for the text, which to me, that looks fine in and of itself. Now, when you select this, by the way, you can also click Update Chart, which it will give you, I guess, a different view, just a different random data points, essentially. And so this could work as well. I actually like more lines here in the grid, so I'm going to readjust things really quickly. And then we'll also take this one. We're going to make that color, and then we'll take that one and we'll boost this up again. And then finally, we'll take the type color, grab the background, and boost that up as well. All right, now this currently is not inside our frame, because anything that's outside of a frame, you'll see outside of this. So what we want to do is we want to move this inside. All right, and that's looking pretty solid. And the fact that it's outside of our grid, as you can see, or our columns rather, is not a big deal. You can completely do that with illustrations, photographs, and that type of stuff. I just wouldn't do that with actual type. All right. Great. All right, so this is coming along quite well. Now, one thing you do need to consider is your white space between your different sections. I kind of want to have more here on desktop, and then we'll make sure we select this element, maybe put this in the middle between these 2 elements of equal white space. And yeah, we're looking pretty solid. Notice how I align this in relation to this element right here. So if I hit Control R, or Shift R rather, and we drag down some guides, we can see the very top of this element and this element. And you can see how we've almost essentially lined that up vertically right in the center. And I think that's perfect right there. If you push it up to the top, it's going to give us an uneven balance. So that's why I like to get it centered there. And that way it looks a little bit better in my opinion. So Shift R, get rid of that. And there we go. So we are certainly moving along and we're making good progress. In the next section, we're going to go ahead and focus on the primary testimonial to be featured right here underneath it.